Welcome back to IELTS 9. The new TOEFL test is out, and it's time for us to take a look at the questions, see what has changed, and find out how we can actually prepare properly. Now, the reading section now offers three different question types. One, completing the words, and this is quite similar to Duolingo. So you can, to practice for this, instead of buying the practice sets on ETS's website, you can just go to Duolingo, go to the read and complete section, and get the exact same question type. It's all generated by AI, and the first topic is also AI. And that means you can practice as much as you want. Just ask ChatGPT to give you a paragraph and leave some parts empty. Now, for this question type, you want to pay attention to the time, the context, and also grammar, obviously. And what I mean by that is, if the passage is written in the present tense, then probably all your other words are your blanks are also going to be in the present tense. For instance, AI is more than just hype. It's not. According to whoever, some person, whatever. Okay, we don't really care about that person. Something, everything. Now, this is what I meant by the tense actually helping you. So the passage is written in the present tense, meaning when you have it, your verb needs S or ES in the end. So let's put ES in here. And that makes it a lot easier for us to guess that this is going to be change. Now, a lot of students actually guess. I have done similar passages with a lot of students, and they know it's change, but they just forget the fact that they need an S at the end of it because it's written in the present tense. Sometimes the passage is written in the past tense, sometimes it's future. So just pay attention to that. It's going to make things a lot easier. And then you have it's a, and then you have opportunity, a noun. So this is probably going to be an adjective. It's a huge opportunity. Opportunities, she said, in the near term. Now, I'm going to actually go back to the TOEFL one. We know from drawing that have been preserved in caves for over 10,000 years that early humans performed dances as a group activity. We think we have a subject and a verb. So this is probably an auxiliary verb. We might think that prehistoric. Now, these type of passages, especially because they are AI generated, always include clues to what the blanks are going to be. So prehistoric something probably goes back and refers to something else in the passage. Early humans, early, prehistoric, and then humans, you can actually say people instead. Prehistoric people focused on, and then between focused or concentrated and on, you have a blank. And there aren't many things you can say grammar that actually would be meaningful. Concentrated only on something survival. The last few days, every time I ask a question to answer this, they find it difficult. But later on, after you actually get the key to the answer, it's going to be a lot easier. We know it's an adjective or maybe a noun because it's coming before another noun. That's not how it works, but for now, let's just say we know it's an adjective without going into the details. Then the next sentence starts with one word followed by a comma. We could assume that this is going to be a conjunction. However, now when we say however, this sentence is going to say something contrary to the previous one. So we might think it's this way. However, it's something else. It is clear from the something that something was important to them. Well, the whole passage is about dancing as a group activity. So in here, a lot of students actually guess dance or dancers or dancer, but we are going to have one missing, again, one extra space in here. So one other thing you can do is assume that, okay, we are talking about the activity, so it needs ing in the end. So just put ing, then you only have to guess one missing letter, and that's going to be dancing. So it's clear from the something that dancing was important to them. It's clear from what? Well, we just said that we have found some evidence. And then in the next sentence, we say they have records that show dances. Well, this is also going to be the record. It's clear from the record, because of this one, that dancing was important to them. So now going back, what would be the opposite of dancing as an activity, or activities like, dancing, music, singing, and so on? Well, we could assume that this is going to be basic survival. And I know that these are a lot of assumptions to make and it's not that easy. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. Then they give you, let's take a look at this little gem right here. They give you passages like this. And then they ask, what type of business is it? And how you can actually do the thing they are asking in the, or they are explaining in the passage. In this case, it says, safe, convenient, easy. Classic ChatGPT prompt. Enroll in paperless billing to receive monthly saving account statements in an electronic PDF document. Access your municipal charter account through the mobile app and select account preferences in the upper right corner to enroll. Okay. What type of business issued the notice? Well, it's telling you that you can actually get your savings account statements. And the only thing that makes sense is a bank because, I mean, it's a bank account. It's a savings account. So why would any other company actually send you a message about you accessing your bank statements? So, garbage question. Now, this is the only thing that we have that kind of resembles an actual academic test. This is the only part that's similar to the old test. However, we used to have these beautiful passages about animals, history, biology, and so on. With interesting topics, I personally actually enjoyed reading all of these and just thinking about the animals or nature or history or whatever the topic was, architecture. Now we have this. The passages are much, much shorter. I think it's probably 250 words or something, maybe 300 words. They used to be 700, 800 words in the past. And you get 4 to 5 questions, if I'm not mistaken, for each one. And we are going to answer this in the next video, so I'm not going to cover it now, but this is the only part that's similar to the previous test. And, oh my God, I missed this one. The new test is garbage. Now, I'm going to skip it and go to the listening. The listening has a few different question types, starting with listen and choose a response. This is where you just hear one sentence or 2 sentences, and then you have to respond to it. And it says something like, didn't I just see you in the library an hour ago? And then you say, yes, you can find it in the reference section. Or, oh, I think I'm going to eat a sandwich. Or some other garbage here. So basically, it's just someone says something and you have to respond to it. And I mean, honestly, as a teacher, I feel like it would be an insult to the viewers or the students' intelligence if I actually explained why some of these options are good or not good. And listening to a conversation. This is quite similar to the office visit listening test that you would get in the previous test, but much shorter and much easier. So in this case, it's like a man and a woman talking about one thinks they are going out, one thinks one knows that this is not what's supposed to happen, and then they ask, what was the woman supposed to do, or what was the woman ready to do? And you say, oh, she was ready to just make dinner or whatever. We will get to it in the next video. It's a very short conversation. I think it takes 30, 45 seconds to actually finish listening to it. And then you answer 2 or 3 questions. And then listening to an announcement. This is quite similar to, again, office visits. Or no, this is similar to the speaking task 2 that you had in the previous test. Where you would get a short announcement from the university regarding a change or, I don't know, maybe some suggestion or maybe a plan that they were going to work on. I'll give you a short example. These question types are obsolete, by the way. We cannot really use them, which means half of my website is now just outdated. And for anyone who has actually prepared for the previous test, just keep in mind that this listening section, the new listening section, is similar to speaking task 2 passages that we got in the previous test. Now, it's an announcement, and then it says, what is the announcement about? I don't think I need to explain this. I mean, now you might be thinking, then why did you make this video if you're not going to explain anything? But then the answer is, first of all, I don't know. But 2, I don't think, if you cannot, also, I hope this helps. If you're a student who cannot answer this question, then probably you are not ready for the TOEFL test. Now, listen to an academic talk and then answer. This is similar to the lectures that we used to get in the previous test, the 5 to 6 minute ones. And this is one of the only parts that hasn't really changed in the listening section. You listen to a 3, 4, 5 minute lecture, and then you answer 5, 6 questions about it. Writing tasks. You get this beautiful gem right here. They give you a few words, and you have to put them in order. And as much as I like to just clown on this and just make fun of it, I'll just try to stay serious and professional, which is kind of rare for me. Now, the something or the someone. So we have the old city or the tour guides. And then we have who. Who is, in general, either used for a question or a relative clause to actually give more information about the subject or an object, specifically about people. So we are probably going to say the tour guides and then use who and then give more information about them. They did something, or they were somewhere, or they had some characteristic. For example, the woman who lives next door is a doctor. Or I saw a boy, but that's not very descriptive. I saw a boy who was wearing a blue t-shirt eating ice cream. So in here, we are probably going to do the same thing. The tour guides who, and what did they do? Well, they showed us the city. The tour guides who showed us around what? The old city. Okay, the tour guides who showed us around the old city, all of it is equal to they. So then we need a verb. They was or they were. They were fantastic. So the tour guides who showed us around the city were fantastic. Horrible. Also, they forgot to mention that one word is extra. Normally, they should mention that. Now, then you have writing an email, which is not a bad task, actually, to be fair. I think anyone who is going to a university or any professional person should actually know how to write a proper email. And you'll get to this in the next video. And then the only task that hasn't changed in the writing section is writing task 2, or the academic discussion. And luckily for us, we actually have quite a few sample questions that we can use. Also, this is my website. You can just go to TOEFL.page or IELTS9.com. From the top menu, go to TOEFL, writing, and then choose writing task 2, academic discussion. And then scroll down. And in this task, you get a professor introducing a topic and providing 2 possible sides to it, like side A and side B. In this case, let me actually use this one. The professor shows up and says, hey, if you have some free, if you have space, should we use it for parks and, I don't know, recreation centers, for example, or use it for apartments and buildings? Then one side says, well, I believe we have to build more apartments and focus on buildings because rent is high as it is. And by, for example, increasing the supply, we can make apartments cheaper. And the other side says, it's true that we need apartments, but still, I think we should focus on mental health and make sure that everyone who lives here actually has a good time and can just go out and relax. And then you can either agree with side A or B, or just have a completely new position. It's a good idea for you to summarize what they have already said. Iron Man their arguments, actually make their arguments stronger, or provide the best summary of what they said, and then add your own response, add your own explanation or examples. And again, today I don't really want to get into the details because we have already covered this many, many times before in other videos and in the classes. And then the speaking. This is probably the biggest change compared to the previous TOEFL test that we had. And now it's, this question type. So now we have an interview, which is just 4 questions, quite similar to the IELTS speaking section. It's like, hey, do you like to live in big cities or small cities? And then you answer 45 seconds, and then they ask a follow-up question. And it follows a theme, it follows a topic. So instead of the task that we had in the past, you just have 4 questions back to back. And that's basically it. That's the new test. And for 2 years, they are going to give you the old scoring like that we had. So you get a score from 0 to 120. But also they will give you the new score, which is from 1 to 6. which makes no sense. Why 6? Why not 10? Why not 9 like IELTS? Even the 9 from IELTS doesn't make sense, but why 6? This makes it a lot harder to actually get an accurate estimate of the person's level. But I have learned that I shouldn't question these companies. They make the worst judgments possible. And also you can just compare them to the CEFR levels from A1 to C2. But who cares? I mean, this is not really going to change how you prepare for it. Now, the one task that I didn't talk about, this one. It's a listen and repeat question. Quite similar to listen and type question that you get in Duolingo. So again, you can practice with this. And what happens is you hear something.
The lecture begins at 9.
And in Duolingo, you actually have to type it. So the lecture begins at 9. And in the TOEFL test, you actually have to, oh God damn it. And in the TOEFL test, you actually have to say it like a parrot. Now, an example question would be, we have a variety of wildlife. And then you have to just repeat that. And in this document, they have included sample responses to help you prepare. For example, in this one, in this page, they gave you the question, the academic discussion task, and the sample high-level response. And because, I mean, in their infinite wisdom, they have also included sample responses for this. So if the question is, listen and repeat, we have a variety of wildlife, what would be a perfect answer? Well, a high-level response is, we have a variety of wildlife. I mean, I really want to meet the person who decided that, hey, we should just copy-paste everything from here and put it here and call it a sample high-level response. I really want to meet that person and just have a short conversation. I want to know how a simple brain actually works. Now, and then you have this picture. The year of our Lord 2026, this is the picture that they have come up with. I'm speechless. I don't really know how to describe how I feel about this picture in 2026. So I'm just going to just keep it on the screen while I give you while we actually finish the video. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video to be helpful. Probably not, but I just wanted to make sure that I have a reference video so I can share with all the students. So, but I will put it on YouTube so others can see it too. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.